All right, what's going on, guys? Okay, today's video, flicker punches. So, what is a flicker punch? There are different ways of generating power for punches. There are different punches, right? We got straights, hooks, uppercuts, and then there are nuanced punches such as the flicker, okay? The typical flicker punch is the flicker jab, usually from a bladed Philly shell type of guard. You know, you got your lead hand down, so it makes it harder for the opponent to see, and it's flicked up. So it's a really fast punch. It gets its power from its speed, not from hip rotation or pivoting, all right? It's kind of an upward little flick of the arm, okay? So that's a flicker jab, but you can use that concept for other punches, okay? So a good way to practice this is on the speed bag. What you'll do is you stand, pretty much in a squared up stance for the speed bag. This is a learning stance. So we're not worried about being perfect. We're not worried about our defense. We're getting the coordination of this movement down, okay? So this learning things from the stance will help you be ambidextrous, right? It'll help avoid muscle imbalances, and it's just a great way to learn new movements, okay? And then you apply them to your normal stance. But you learn things in this stance, okay? So what you'll do on the speed bag, is just traditional double punches on the speed bag, right? Left, left, right, right. Left, left, right, right. Okay, so I turn my hip and I throw a normal, kind of traditional right-handed punch. I turn my hip the opposite direction on the way back. So I'm going back to my right leg and I steal a tap. I flick my hand out like a backhand. Same thing with the left. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Turn my hip to throw the left punch, and when I return, I steal a hit on the way back, okay? So the use for this, that you can't, backhands are illegal in boxing, okay? But, the rules in boxing, it kind of depends on who's reffing the fight, okay? So keep that in mind. And also, the hand is quicker than the eye. So a lot of these times you see fighters doing this in slow motion. They throw a punch, boom. And then, they'll follow up with a little blinding flicker for their next punch.
There's the jab. There's.
Watch some fights in slow motion and you'll see this type of punch, okay? It's not really a punch. It can be. You can get some power on it depending on how much you flick your hip and your shoulder, all right? Like a flicker jab. You can add some snap to it. But typically it's like a blinder. It's a control punch. It's a control movement, right? So for example, if you throw a right hand and someone slips or rolls and they're coming over to counter you on this side, instead of, just sitting there or trying to move away, or sometimes you can just flicker over, boom, so boom, boom, and you catch him by the head and control the head.
Another right hand to left. Another right hand to left.
Okay, that can also be kind of like a backhanded punch, boom, boom. So you throw a right, he slips, you anticipate him countering. Before he gets a chance, you hit him in the face 2 times, okay? or that can just be a push. Sometimes when people slip and roll, they're easily pushed off balance, okay? So you throw a right, he rolls, you just push him over, and then you can create distance, okay? So that's one use for it. Another use is self-defense. I mean, most people who train boxing, you know, they're not looking to compete. They want to just be able to get fit and protect themselves when they need to, okay? So that's something that was taught back in the day. Jack Dempsey's book, Championship Fighting, he talks about how like the speed bag is used, you know, to get these quick little, these little double punches, because you can do that in a street fight. That's a very valuable move to be able to throw a 1-2, boom, boom, and you can throw multiple punches, hammer fists kind of punching, okay? So again, that's a self-defense move. But you watch some fights in slow motion and you'll see pro boxers do this kind of thing. A lot of times they'll do it in a way so that they do land on the knuckles. So it is technically still legal. Every once in a while, someone will get called for it by the ref, but like I was saying, the hand is faster than the eye, so a lot of times this stuff goes unnoticed, okay? So, how this relates to my last video on the 1-2. I was talking about how the 1-2, a good 1-2, is a single motion. It's not two separate punches, it's 1-2 at once, okay? So that one is just a flicker, right? I'm just thinking about turning my hip for the right. I'm just thinking about turning my hip for that right punch, but at the last second, I flick out the left. So, boom, boom. 1, 1, 2, okay? Okay, another way you see these flicker punches is off the hook. You throw a hook, maybe he rolls, and before he can, as he's coming up to counter you, boom, boom, you hit him with a 1-2.
Punch upstairs.
Very useful, okay? You can do this, you know, you can do a one-handed kind of thing where you throw a hook, boom, he rolls, maybe it lands, but maybe he still gets out of the way, and before he can counter you, boom, 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 and you can throw multiple punches from one side, and you're less exposed, okay? So you get that angle, and it's just multiple hooks and uppercuts, but you got that opportunity because you threw the hook and then you flick out a jab, okay? Jabs are distractions. These flicker punches, you know, they can be used as distractions, okay? So you gotta be unpredictable. That's the key here, okay? So check it out. I'll work some of the speed bag here and try to emphasize some of these flicker punches, okay? Okay. Notice that the rhythm's not perfect because it takes a different skill set. It uses a different kind of mechanic to throw out that second punch. Bop, bop. Okay. You'll smooth it out a little bit over time, and as you go faster, it kind of becomes less noticeable. But keep in mind, these can be blocks. Okay? You throw a punch, and you got the speed and the mechanics already kind of memorized to be able to recover and get your hand back in position to block, control, or they can be blinding shots leading, or little jabs leading into other shots, okay? But to practice them, if you don't have a speed bag, you can use a pool noodle, double end bag, but you're just gonna rock back and forth. You shift your weight, okay? Shift your weight. I have a video on the weight shift. I'll link it in the description, all right? You shift your weight. But instead of throwing a punch with every weight shift, stick with one hand. So punch, flick, punch, block, punch, flick, punch, block. Okay, pretty much the same thing. You can also do this on the double end bag. Switch hands. All right. Okay. You can go into your normal speed bag doubles, right? Which pretty much is an exercise in developing hand speed and flicker punches, even if you don't realize it, all right? This kind of stuff is why the speed bag is so important. There's a lot more that goes in the speed bag than just shoulder conditioning and hand-eye coordination, right? You treat it like something like a normal punching bag, right? Back up a little bit. You become more realistic punches, right? But first you start close, just getting the mechanics down. Then you can back up. Start throwing more realistic punches. And eventually, you'll be able to start moving around a little bit. Okay, these little 1-2s, 1, 1, 1, 2. It started with the flicker jab, not the traditional upward flicker jab, but from your guard, straight out. Okay? So try it out. So, those are flicker punches. Try them out. Let me know what you think. And like the video, sub the channel. Peace.